Hi, welcome. This is Catherine Garrow, and it's been a while since I've posted anything on YouTube, and that would be because I have really had to take a giant step back in my life. And this giant step really involved me starting to truly become aware of who I am. So, in my previous post, I talked about how things have been changing and how I'm kind of going into a new direction. And one of the things that really had a massive impact on my life was this thing called human design. Human design is a way of you being able to look at your chart, look at your birth time, your birth location, um, and it kind of takes in astrology, numerology, mandalas, a whole bunch of different information, and it talks about how your energy is best created to work in harmony with the world. And one of the things that I realized is that all of the things that I defined myself as and that really drove me in my life, they're all bullshit. What a shock. I'm sure people have never heard of this sort of stuff happening to them before. But it happened to me because my life came to a screeching halt. I was working with a mentor. Things were going really well. My business was more successful than it had ever been. And then it literally fell apart in a period of 6 weeks where I went from having 9 clients in packages and I was down to 3. One of them, her cycle was about to finish, and it just kind of, the bottom fell out of my business. It fell out of my world. And I was kind of like, holy crap, what am I meant to do right now? And the biggest thing that I learned that I really kind of had to face the hard way was about learning how to pause and respond to the world. My whole life has been about, if you can think it, you can do it, you can achieve it, right? I know we all know this adage. Many people have heard this saying before. It's really ridiculous because that's not how my energy actually works. The truth is, everything that I need comes to me. I need to then tune in and find out, is this the right thing for me to respond to, or is this something that I need to push away again? And the biggest lesson that I've had to learn is how to sit back and wait. And you know what? It sucks learning it the hard way. It was so freaking hard. I was literally spending hours sitting on my couch. Don't tell my husband that because he was out working and I was pretending to be busy. Like, it's amazing how you could say like, oh yes, I did the washing and I cleaned the bathroom and I did this and I did that, just to make it sound like I'd actually been doing stuff today. But the truth was, I had to get used to sitting around and waiting. And I'm one of these women that when I would go on holidays, I'm like, okay, we're going on a beach holiday. That sounds great. It sounded like torture to me because after about a day or so of sitting on the beach, I would be like, okay, I've got to go and do something. I've got to get out. I've got to, be busy, because if I'm not busy, then I have to sit with myself. And if I have to sit with myself, that means that all the shit that I don't want to deal with is going to come up. And so learning to wait to respond has meant that I have had to learn how to sit and wait. And do you know the most incredible thing that has happened is that I have the craziest summer here. I literally for 2 months have had family visiting, or I was visiting family for 2 months with a few friends thrown into that. I'm like, I can't wait till I can sit on the couch and do nothing. And look, I'm nearly 40 years old, right? For this to come out of my mouth, it's like, what? Who the hell is that? Okay, that has never been a statement that's ever really come out of my mouth until the most recent part of my journey, which has like been over the last 9 months. So the biggest thing by surrendering, by really taking a step back and allowing myself to wait to see what comes into me so I can respond to it, I am so much less stressed than I ever have been in my life. I've always been, I have to prove something. I have to be doing something. I have to be making money. I've got the next brilliant idea. I was an idea junkie, right? I love ideas, but I'd get this idea and then I'd be like, oh my gosh, I've really got to do this thing. This is going to be like the best thing. And my brain would go off on this fantasy and it would start planning what was going to happen. And it would go through it all. And I'd already been a famous bazillionaire by the end of this fantasy. And I would ride that fantasy for a good week. I'd spend time looking up stuff. I'd even spend a bit of money getting stuff going. And then it got to the bit where I actually had to actually do something about it that wasn't background stuff. And I'd be like, screeching halt. And I'd be like, oh, okay, I'm done with that now. So I was just running on the adrenaline of the ideas that were coming in. So now where I'm at is I have ideas, I have thoughts. What happens is they come to me and I'm like, oh, cool, that's a great idea, that's a great thought. And then I just sit back and I wait. And I wait because there are things that happen in divine timing. And I don't care whatever belief system you have, right? For me, it's that I might have an idea, but unless all of the other pieces have fallen into place that need to come into place, I'm just going to be literally pushing shit uphill. Or I think my favorite saying is dragging the boat across the land. Because, paddling upstream isn't hard enough. I've got to drag this damn thing all the way across to go where I want to go because I'm going to make it happen. Right? How many of you have had this thought? If I just put a bit more effort into it, if I just try a little bit harder, it'll work, it'll happen, it'll all come together. It's bullshit. Freaking let it go. Stop. Drop everything that you think that you are here to do. And then the right things will come to you. So that's really the big thing that I learned. And they do come to me. And part of what I'm realizing is, do I want the identities that I had associated myself with? All the things that I thought, oh yes, I'm an aromatherapist and I'm a massage therapist and I'm a this and I'm a that and I have to be something. I'm a mom, I'm a this. No, I'm Catherine Garrow. Who's that? I don't know. I'm working it out. That's what I'm in the process of doing. Yeah, I'd like more money. Yeah, I'd like to be skinny. Yeah, I'd like to live in a giant house. Things will happen as they happen, right? There's a destiny that I'm a part of that I'm still not fully aware of yet. And so part of my job is to stop clinging to things and trying to force the boat a particular way so I can actually take a step back and lean back and see what's coming, see what's happening, see all the possibilities. And wait for things to fall into place because they do. It's easy. It's like streamlined. It's like breathing, and it's always the hardest when you get close to that edge. When you get close to that point where things are starting to come together, your faith is always shaken the most. And that, I think, is where that waiting game is really, really difficult. That surrender part of it, it's really difficult because the brain can only run on something that's from the future or a past memory, like a fantasized future or something that has already happened in the past. But when you really have to lean back and surrender and let kind of the universe show you what needs to happen, it's hard because the faith gets the most brittle when the brain can't see any path forward. And that's where faith actually kicks in, right? It doesn't have to be a faith in God or anything. It's just generalized faith. Right? It's holding on knowing that this too shall pass. And when you get to the end of it, you'll look back and you'll be like, oh my God, thank God I held on. Because this is like the best thing ever. And it's always so much better than you can imagine. So that's the big, big advantage that comes from waiting. And the other advantage is it's really less stressful. I'm so much less stressed now than I used to be because I was always so stressed trying to force things and trying to make things happen. So it's never a problem to sit and wait. In our society, we live in this world where we're like, if we don't hurry up and if we don't say yes straight away, the opportunities will pass and they'll never come back. But that's ridiculous, okay? The right thing will always come back. It'll always come back. So when you're in doubt, you say no and you push it away, okay? It will always come back. And that's really one of the hardest things to lean on when the faith feels low. Anyway, that's my ramble. For human design perspective, I'm actually classed as a manifesting generator. 70% of the world are generators, and about 50% of the generators are a manifesting generator. It's all mumbo jumbo. The truth is, most of the world should be waiting to respond. That's pretty much most of you out there. You should be letting go of all the things that you're trying to make happen and just take a step back, lean back in your mind's eye and let the water flow past you instead of trying to stick your head in and work out which way the river's going. It's not up to you. You get on the river and you flow with it. Anyway, that's my philosophy for today. Wacky, rambled world that I live in. Okay, if you've got any questions or anything, pop the comments in the bottom of this post and I will see you next time.